So today we're going to be learning all about Netmiko and really demonstrating or showcasing some of the flexibility and powerful features that it can offer in comparison to the library Telnet Lib that we of course took a look at last week. But to really get a reminder or a side-by-side somewhat comparison, let's go ahead and quickly run through this again to kind of refresh our memory. So of course we are importing this library and it's going to take advantage of the Telnet protocol. Again, we have these variables up top specify really our IP address for our device, and then the credentials, we're going to prompt the user to provide their username and password. And we're going to see in clear text here in the CLI what both of those are. Just a thing to remember here real quick. And then of course the rest of these really is just using this library's feature. We need to encode those explicitly, each of those pieces of data in ASCII. And then this multi-line string here is going to be stored in this variable called commands, and we need to format that. We're not using an F string, of course, to basically present it in the right order for these commands. And then when we need to see it here in the CLI, we have to, of course, decode that to be able to see it here in plain text with this protocol. So if we quickly, let's go ahead and run this again. And Cisco, as we can see, both the username and password in clear text there. Let's configure loopback 89, give it the IP 8989, and this will be /32. And description, we'll just say loopback 89. And then, of course, we can see that that was done successfully. If we, of course, bring up our beautiful prompt here. Let's go full screen. This of course should be router 4 down here in the lower right hand corner, and we can see loopback 89, and we can see of course hello 89, the description that we typed there. So that of course got things done. But we saw a lot of snafus there, not just in having to specify encoding, Telnet, of course, unsecure protocol there. Our password, as we noticed, was presented to the user. So to beef that up a bit here with Netmiko, we've got our boilerplate code ready here. We, of course, already have the library installed and loaded. And we actually are going to also import this get pass, and from that of course the module get pass. And this, as you're going to see here shortly, is going to basically, if someone's glancing over your shoulder just looking at your screen, it's not going to present that password or display it really. It's going to basically hide that secret there. But what we have here is again a dictionary in our variable called router. And then to the user, we're basically going to print out that dictionary to let them know these are the devices. And of course, the key is what they need, the key out of the key value, i.e. router 1, router 2. They need to tell us which one they want to configure. And then to make it uppercase to match this, doesn't matter if they type lowercase r or uppercase, it's going to convert that to make it basically have a match. Then we're going to present them with the choice. We need their username and password, and like we say, we're going to see that here shortly, that it's going to basically not mask it, but it's just not going to display it. Got another dictionary here, similar to the last. Netmiko, of course, uses port 22 or SSH. We got the router side prep, but we're going to quiz you and see what you need to have there in case you forgot some of those fundamentals from C, CNA. But these are the requirements that we need here for a Cisco iOS. That's the device type, and as you can see, or as you can guess, there's different types of vendors that we can basically configure with Netmiko. Username, password, of course, this is the key value pair, and then of course the IP is going to be from the choice that the user selects there, whether they type R1, R2, R3, R4, it's going to basically use that value. We of course need the double asterisk here to use this dictionary. Instead of each value IP and router IP separately, we need to use them as the pair to be able to successfully run that. This is just going to display a line out to the user. And this is kind of building a quote unquote utility. And over time, we can build more options. Press 1 for this, press 2 for static route, press 3 to configure BGP, etc. And then, of course, we're going to use our loop. We're going to ask them how many interfaces they want to configure. And then we're going to go up to that amount and then stop. That's going to be each iteration of this for loop. So if they say 3, we're going to basically start at 0, 1, 2. And because that stop value is 3, we're going to stop when we get there, but we still have configured 3 interfaces. The rest self-explanatory, but the two differences here for Netmiko, we don't need to do anything. It knows intelligently how to enter basically configuration mode, privilege exec, etc. And to send all of these commands at once inside of this list, again, we see the brackets there, this list that's assigned to the commands. We're going to use ssh.send_config_set. And of course, command is going to send all of those to the router. And then this ssh.send_command is just a single command. So we're going to give the user the amount, or not the amount, but the option to pick one command or type it to validate show run interface, loopback, whatever, show run to see the entire running configuration, or show IP interface brief. And then of course the ssh.save_command basically writes the running config to the startup config. So let's go ahead and let's clear this off. And let's go ahead and hit play. Let's see what we got here. So again, we see our dictionary presented to us here, curly braces, R1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's go ahead and configure R2, enter our username, Cisco, and again, this is our password, and we saw that in the telnet lib that we could see it, but if we type CISCO, it's not going to display it if someone's peeking over your shoulder or whatnot. All right. So let's see. We might not have configured something there. So what do we have? All right. So router 2, let's go and check the IP address, 178. Let's see what we got. And again, we'll just keep them all up, but this is router 2, 178. So we don't need to do it again, but we got there. We know one of our requirements is a host name. So we know we have the host name. We can clearly see it there as R2. Let's see if we have our IP domain, pipe. We don't. So let's go ahead and configure that. We will basically call this, we'll do the same as router 4, nyf.com. Next up, we need to generate our crypto key. So let's do crypto key generate modulus, our RSA modulus 1024. It'll do that. And then if we see our line VTY or transport import, we probably have telnet. Pipe begin line. Let's do control A. Yeah, see, we got telnet there. So we could do all, but we see here router 4 is working. We need to add SSH. So we'll just do line VTY 0 through 4, transport input, telnet, SSH. And we should have a username. You show run pipe include username. Okay, so we should be all set. All right, so let's go ahead and try that again. And again, that's our CCNA pop quiz there. But let's go ahead and press up, enter. We'll do router 2, Cisco. We want to configure, let's say 2. Enter the interface name, loopback 103. I don't think we got that one yet. 103.103.103. And then of course /32 and loopback 103. All right, enter the second interface, loopback 212. I don't know. All right, so this will be 212.212.212.212, as you can guess. Should have just did 112. And description, loopback 212. All right, so there we go. Enter the command you wish. So let's just do show IP interface brief. And we can see here without going to the devices themselves, or the device singular, that we have both of these interfaces added. And of course, we wrote that or saved it to the running config. And then of course we exit the for loop. So that's really it. We can get pretty granular with this. We can ask, until they hit Q, do you want to basically let them do more than one show command? And like I said, we can make this menu driven, this quote unquote utility. So the sky's definitely the limit. I'm going to definitely drop. We can see here, we got log into the console here. So without even doing it, loop back 212. Again, we see that we're good to go there. But like I said, it's so much to learn. Like I said, I'm definitely enjoying myself. Repetition is kind of helping me out here. And starting to read a little bit about netconf and restconf. That's going to be coming up here, probably in one of the next videos. But as you can see here, we've extended our scripts here on the left. We've been practicing and writing multiple scripts here to take advantage of quite a few things here. This, of course, even here, getting into, like we said, asking the user to press 1 if they want to configure interfaces, 2 for static routes, 3 EIGRP, 4 of course OSPF. So getting a little bit nasty with this, but like I said, definitely enjoying this. So drop a comment down below. Like I said, if you enjoyed this, let me know your thoughts. Curious to see if this is any interest to you. Like I said, I'm definitely enjoying the learning. And I just want to thank each and every one of you out there again for always supporting the channel and rocking here with me. But until next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves. Peace.